Hi everyone. So whosoever is watching this, we are back with again a new series of Alumni of the Week, and this time we have Milan with us. He has been coming from an industry of very industry that is very not known, like aerospace engineering. He comes from an aerospace engineering background. We'll get to know more about him in this session of Alumni of the Week. So let's just start with Milan himself. So Milan, yeah, a quick brief about you. Like, what have you been doing recently? Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for taking your time, Hamisha. First of all, been planning to get on this for quite a while, and I'm glad that I got this chance to speak to you. Thank you for choosing your alumni to do this for HelloPM. Great platform for me, especially, and I recommend to all, irrespective of who asks me about it. Yeah, so I think my major journey kind of started with HelloPM, and I actually realized what I was doing is like, oh, I'm not just a generalist or a problem solver or a product plus, I mean, marketing plus tech guy, सब कुछ थोड़ा थोड़ा करके नहीं है. It's like jack of all, king of none. मैं jack of all था. And right after I finished my engineering, I realized कि, oh, I don't want to get into Accenture and all this stuff. मेरे को तो startup में काम करना है, because we had a startup right out of college. A couple of my seniors from college, Jain University, they started something called About Number, which was supposed to be like the true caller for India at that time. Did not really work out, but we got a lot of things in that way where we were doing really well, and we got a lot of appreciation and applaud for that as well across the tech industry and the marketing world as well. So that is where my startup journey actually started, and I did not know how exactly I'm working as a product manager, and then I moved to working with the Hackerath, amazing team over there. The founders Sachin and Vivek. I still talk to Vivek sometimes. One of the most chill person that I've spoken to, and I think that was another journey or an experience which kind of molded me into that experience. What I was doing and what I'm doing right now. It's got a name.
A person who is working around product growth, how that thing came into, like, what is that one thing that made you realize, okay, this is what I need to do, that give you the kick, so this is what I need to get in, and this is what I should be doing ahead, while
Yeah.
working or solving the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so aerospace engineering, that was always been a thing for me, because from my childhood I always just wanted to be a pilot. So that is the reason I joined aerospace engineering. Also, I spoke to a lot of pilots. I went down to the Bangalore International Airport एक दिन, and I was like, pilot से पूछूंगा कि बनना है कि नहीं pilot. This is like during the recession 2008 में, just before joining college. They're like, नहीं नहीं, पहले engineering कोई भी कोर्स कर लो, उसके बाद पायलट बन जाओ, आपकी 30-35 साल तक एज होती है. ठीक है, इंजीनियरिंग कर ली, एरोस्पेस इंजीनियरिंग, एंड एरोस्पेस इंजीनियरिंग के बाद मैंने फिर लाइसेंस के लिए अप्लाई किया. एंड दोस दैट टाइम थिंग्स वर इन अ स्टेट वेयर आई कुड ओनली चूज वन. तो ठीक है, लेट्स सी, आई विल जस्ट गो अहेड विद द जॉब. सो कॉलेज पे एक्सेंचर ऑल दीज कंपनीज स्टार्ट कमिंग टू कॉलेज, एंड एरोस्पेस स्टूडेंट्स दे वर सिटिंग इन एक्सेंचर का प्लेसमेंट प्रोग्राम. एंड आई वाज लाइक, ये नहीं कर सकता मैं. I was like, ये तो मैं नहीं बैठूंगा. This is nothing. I'll again have to learn whatever the program is. I didn't know. I didn't know what these people from MNCs are going to do with a aerospace engineer, but I did not sit for that. I mean, everybody has their things. I just wanted to work with a startup उस time से, and I stuck.
Totally, totally. I mean, right now, people whosoever must be hearing this podcast sort of session, they must be realizing right now their dream companies are Swiggy, Ola, Uber. We are talking about the time when they were the startups, and you're like, "Nee, I don't want to go to HP and all. I'll be sticking around the startups, right?"
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great feeling. I mean, when you enter into a space, here is one startup, another startup is working around just behind the seats, just behind the seats. So like what were your, if I ask you in a summarized format, the three major learnings that you got to know, I mean, or you think a person would learn working in a startup rather than a big firm, the three major learnings sort of.
I can answer from my experiences for a startup, what I loved and why I'm still working with startups only. Number one, you directly work with the visionaries, with the people who have these ideas. Ki, yaar, when the first time I spoke to the front row founders, Nikhil and Ishan, That time I realized that these people are not just, making a platform for learning XYZ things. This is a platform for learning your hobbies, and it's not small. Because bahar se, when you see just the ads, you only get to see, XYZ things. Ke yaar, ads chal rahe hain, singing sekhte ho. When you go inside, you realize people have a way bigger vision. So when you're working directly with these kind of founders, your thinking, your ability to learn, that exponentially grows. You become a whole different person, right? So that would be like a biggest pro for anybody who's working in a startup. Secondly, while people expect these things to happen, not from you, from the company. They expect, yeah, meko ye chahiye. I want 50 million downloads, or I want 500 students onboarding on a daily basis, or I want 15,000 colleges by the end of XYZ year, right? So you also start thinking, why do they want it? Then you start thinking from business perspective. Achha, this is the reason you why you want these things. So you're again, working towards those goals, and you have a clear idea. Okay, these are the things which I want to achieve for myself and for the company that I'm working for the visionaries they have, why they have thought about all these things. कोई सुबह उठ के ऐसे नहीं बोलता यार मेरे को 50 मिलियन डाउनलोड चाहिए, मेरे को 15,000 कॉलेज चाहिए, ऐसे नहीं बोलता. There's a lot of thinking behind it. You start sitting with them, you realize. Again, then the third major thing, I'm not from a tech background. जितना भी aerospace engineering है, थोड़ी बहुत कोडिंग करी वहां पे, ठीक है, C++, that's it. उसके आगे कुछ नहीं है. And the kind of experience that I had with hacker especially, I used to sit directly with the tech team, right? And I used to like, see, मेरे को ना ऐसे चाहिए फ्लो कि यहाँ पे बंदा आएगा, ठीक है, यूजर, एंड देन द यूजर इज गोइंग टू साइन अप करने के बाद ही विल चूज व्हिच कॉलेज इज ही फ्रॉम. फिर उसका कॉलेज में लीडर बोर्ड बन जाएगा प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से, राइट? एंड द लिस्ट विल पॉपुलेट कि you have number this one, this is your rank, right? To see all that thing happening through tech right in front of you, and रात को तुम बोल के गए, सुबह तुम आते हो, टेक वाला बंदा बोलता है हाँ it's ready, I'm like what, दिखाओ. And to see those things happening in front of your eyes, तुम रात को बैठे हो, सुबह तुम उठ के आते हो, you're like, oh fuck, this looks so beautiful, this is what I imagined it is going to be. So those things really give you a very, very epic feeling. So my learnings is the ownership part, because you get to see all the things that is happening. You working in a startup changes the whole way that you're thinking and you're working, right? And at the same time, you become a whole different person, because it's not just the hustle. You become a whole different person as your personality keeps changing with each different person that you work with in a startup. In an MNC, I don't know how the culture is. I never worked in an MNC, but people have their pros to them. It's discipline, it's time, it's kind of strategies that you put over there. Big company, bigger strategy is different.
So how you came across knowing that name? Okay, there is something which is known as product management, and or a growth product manager, or a product growth. So where you came across these terminologies, like how you came across, and when you realize, oh, this is what I'm doing. Yeah.
So many of my experiences, right, they have always been building something from scratch. Right. Whether it was at about number, which is gets like, we set up the whole thing from the ground up कि यार सोशल मीडिया स्ट्रेटजी कैसे काम करेगी, ट्विटर पे कैसे पोस्ट आएंगे, ऑनबोर्ड कैसे होंगे, सपोर्ट कैसे काम करेगा, which button is going to highlight a person, right? So हम लोग साथ में बैठ के काम करते, 4 ही लोगों की टीम थी, साथ में काम करते. When I moved to hacker, we had to set the whole thing कि how each individual is going to be onboarded as student, and how he is going to be categorized into different colleges. फिर इंटर कॉलेज के बैटल्स कैसे होंगे, कॉलेज के इंट्रा कॉलेज के बैटल्स कैसे होंगे, हैकाथॉन्स कैसे होंगे, इनके बैटल्स कैसे होंगे. Then working with different companies to understand कि company wants to hire specifically from IIT के, तो Intuit और IIT के सिर्फ गर्ल्स को कैसे हैकाथॉन करवाएंगे, only they sign up. So I was not aware कि I'm building products or I'm working on products. मेरे को लगा था यार मेरे को ये काम करना है. This is the problem कि I want to find इतने students from IIT and I want to onboard इतने colleges by the end of this year. 100 colleges मेरे को onboard करने, कैसे करूंगा? What are the marketing strategies I will do? How am I going to reach out to them? Emails कैसे जाएंगे? I had no idea. मेरे को तो ये भी नहीं पता था कि send grade क्या होता है उस टाइम पे. ठीक है, धीरे धीरे मेरे को लगा send grade से ऐसे मैसेज भेजना है. So I started uploading emails, खुद से email draft करता था. Content team उस टाइम पे थी, but we were like नहीं, हम सब खुद से करेंगे. Then we started realizing what works, because every day you're sending out 50 emails to 50 colleges, right? And figure out how. तो एक और चीज थी, I love this particular thing के research वाला काम. right? Okay, which things are working out, what kind of emails work out. So from there I realized this is how the tonality should be. So वो धीरे धीरे काम करना शुरू किया. And then moving to the product part, this is how I want. This is I told earlier how I actually want things to look at. Even when we were working at Vocal, I was what you call right now as a product owner. जो internal product बना रहा है internal team के लिए कि I want to make 10 million questions, right? And I want 10,000 questions to be populated on a daily basis on a platform which is on the web, right? How are you going to do that? You एक साथ 10,000 क्वेश्चन ला उसको डाल दो नहीं. तुम्हें एक टीम सेट करनी है, टीम को लॉगिन देना है, लॉगिन पे ओटीपी जाएगा, ओटीपी जाने के बाद वो साइन अप करेगा. ये सारी चीजें व्हेन यू स्टार्ट प्रोसेसिंग, व्हेन यू स्टार्ट डूइंग एबी टेस्टिंग करते हो, देन यू रियलाइज ये फट रहा है. पीपल कॉपी पेस्ट करें तो कॉपी पेस्ट में कैसे हटाओ, कंट्रोल से कंट्रोल में कैसे हटाओ, राइट क्लिक कैसे हटाना है, फिर प्लेजरिज्म चेक्स कैसे ऐड करने हैं. सो यू वर्किंग ऑन अ प्रोडक्ट. बट व्हाट फॉर मी वाज, मेरे को प्रॉब्लम है कि लोग कॉपी कर रहे हैं, मेरा प्लेजरिज्म चेक आएगा तो मेरे को डीएमसीए बैन करेगा. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए वो बैन करे. आई एम सॉल्विंग फॉर दैट प्रॉब्लम. आई वाज अ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर. आई गॉट इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू अंकित. ये प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर कुछ है, अंकित से बात करी. I had first discussion with Ankit. Like, I don't know what exactly this thing is. I don't know if I'm the right person for it, if I'm fit, but let's just go try it. मैंने अंकित से एक बार बात करी. We saw a class and then I was like, मेरे को यही करना है. And Ankit was like, dude, you're already doing that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I feel like I'm already doing whatever you told. Yeah, I'm building products, but I don't know. Yeah, I was building products. क्योंकि मैंने कैंपस प्रोग्राम बनाया, मैंने वोकल के इंटरनल मशीन बनाई फॉर ईगल. उनका सिक्योरिटी चेक जो था उस पर काम किया. वोकल पे जो हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स थे उन पे काम किया. राइट, आई वाज वर्किंग ऑन प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. बट दोज थिंग्स राइट नाउ यू वुड कॉल as a product manager or a project manager. There's a difference between that also, which I later realized.
So what were the sort of hurdles that I would say that you came across that you would suggest? I mean, while navigating through the whole process of cracking, okay, this is the PM role and these are the responsibilities. What were the hurdles that you initially realized? Some sort of definitely some other way you must have come across some hurdles. So, like, what were those hurdles and how you went around those hurdles, resolving those hurdles, or connecting with Ankit, or maybe through community, through assignments, or so yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's still very relevant these days. The hurdles that people face when they want to break into product management from a different role, or you are an aspiring product manager right out of college, right? So for me, the biggest hurdle was I am doing XYZ stuff, and when I'm talking about that XYZ stuff, it is not sounding like I was working in a product role. It was sounding more like कि यार मैंने इतनी ग्रोथ करवा दी, इतने सारे यूजर्स लेके आया हूँ, इतने सारे लोगों से काम करवाया, मैंने ईगल बनाया, ठीक है, या फिर मैंने कैंपस प्रोग्राम बनाया, कैंपस प्रोग्राम से कितना रेवेन्यू आया, ठीक है. यू पुटिंग जस्ट वर्ड्स एंड नंबर्स आउट देयर, राइट? सो फॉर अ प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर इट्स नॉट योर सीवी, इट्स योर पोर्टफोलियो, राइट? तुम सीवी बना के भेज दो. व्हेन यू एक्चुअली क्रिएट अ पोर्टफोलियो फॉर योरसेल्फ कि dude, these are the things, multiple things that I've worked on, right? That is when you realize कि these small things, they do make a big change, because तुम process setup कर दोगे, then you keep following up with the process कि आज कितनी growth हुई, आज कितना change आया, why did it drop today, okay, website फटी हुई है, sign up flow पे कुछ change हुआ है, अच्छा क्यों हमने change किया था, अच्छा we did this. So all these questions you are answering to yourself, but when you actually want to put it out there in your resume, it sounds so monotonous and like क्या CV भेजा है यार इसने, right? So CV was a big problem at that time. I think people right now, everybody is making their portfolios, they're doing market research, they're doing tear downs, they're doing product hunts and all these things as product tear downs. वो सारे जब चलते रहते, people have picked up a lot. College kids have picked up a lot.
There's this one query like most of the people have in their mind, and I also find them people being a bit skeptical around, like people from different industry, is it really that tough to get into PM, or is just it's fine? I mean, people from other verticals, like maybe from tech or maybe from commerce or from business or marketing, they can also get into the role of PM. So
okay. So one more thing which I will add to both the questions, the previous and this have a very clear correlation. What helped me out was I could structure things in a much better manner. right? Okay, these are the XYZ things which I want to do and make my plan that way, right? And if you look at any tech folk today or even in the past, they're very particular about their code, right? They're like, मेरे को ऐसे चाहिए, मेरे को ये green line चाहिए, मेरे को red line चाहिए. When you see the screen, it's either colorful or it's black and white, right? If it's
Right.
black and white, कुछ सोच रहे हैं. If it's colorful, there's code लिखा, कुछ फटा हुआ है, right? If you're from a tech background, you want to get into product management, get into a tech product, you've already made XYZ things, right? Experienced guys की तरफ से बोलो, if you already made XYZ things, you know कि मेरे को अगर next चीज बनानी है 2-3 साल के बाद, from my previous experience I can do it again, right? You don't have to break into product management as such. You know कि मैंने ऐसी चीज करी, but you have to have a structured approach and you have to have that guidance. That guidance is not going to come that easily from YouTube videos. It's going to come from some mentorship, some community, speaking to similar like-minded folks who are actually doing that. And when you talk to people who are very new into it, and when you talk to people who have been in that industry for a while, you realize that these are my shortcomings जो इसकी है, and these are my plus points जो इसकी है. I have to combine those things and make sure that I become that 100%. Like you have your front end and back end developers को full stack बोलते हैं. यहाँ पे
Right.
if I want to do marketing and tech both, I'm going to be a full time product manager के marketing भी देखूंगा, product देखूंगा, how I'm going to launch the product, all those things. And the other thing which I would like to say about people who are not experienced, right? Um, for them it is more along the lines of breaking into it, right?
Right.
Again, if you get the right guidance, if you know the kind of companies that you want to get into, if you have started early, yeah, third year, fourth year mein pahunch gaye, you start doing your product teardowns, you start getting into that way of thinking ki how products are going to make a difference, how this product is going to make a difference for XYZ company.
So after getting into it, like what were like couple of things, like 2 to 3 things that worked out for you? Was it like assignment or the community or getting answers or sorting the question answers or maybe connecting with mentors? So yeah, what were like couple of things that worked out for you amazingly? Okay, this was
So that when I started talking to the community, I realized that while we are doing assignments together, you talk to people, you understand what kind of assignments you're doing. When you're doing the capstone project, you realize कि तुमने तो दे दिया कैप्स्टोन प्रोजेक्ट कि मेरे को तो एडटेक का स्टार्टअप बनाना है, ठीक है. मैंने मेरा कैप्स्टोन था, मेरे को ईवीज खोलनी है अक्रॉस द कंट्री, एंड सॉरी ईवी चार्जिंग पॉइंट्स खोलने अक्रॉस द कंट्री, ठीक है. बहुत मस्त आइडिया. And उसके बाद when you start looking at the problem set, you're like, that is where you realize that yeah, you have to reach out to the correct people. Your mentors are going to help you. People in the industry are going to help you. That
right.
is um, that is when you figure things out for yourself, because you are in that mindset. Okay, this is the problem which I want to solve. So for me, growth through HelloPM was this growth. Okay, I understood how PM is going to answer these problems, how is going to look at these questions.
What are your advice for aspiring product managers? Like, what should they really focus on? I mean, right now, since it's a buzzword around the industry, right? And people are on the one hand, people are skeptical. On the other hand, due to the buzzword, people have taken considered getting into this line of being a product manager. But like, what is your advice? If this is the thought process, then you should get into it. Or if this is what you're thinking, you need to recalibrate it before you get into product management. Because one thing that I would like to point here, like mostly people think like product managers are the mini CEO. This is like one of the most biggest thing which is going around. And people, students who are in final year or third year who are, breaking into this role, they have this thought, okay, this is why I'm going to go in. So yeah, what is your advice going to be first? Second thing, what is the thought process you will advise them to have before entering into the PM role?
Okay. So product management is not, straight up, right? When you look at it from outside, you think, there's so many people with product management title and they're across so many industries and so many sectors. And now meta and crypto is a whole different ball game altogether. तुम पहले fintech में जा सकते थे, edtech, food tech and all these things. Like, I want to do these things. Something new has come up and those kind of product managers are not solving the same problems again, right?
Right.
ऊपर से देख रहा है कि you're solving for growth, but how you're solving for growth is different. Or if you're a tech product manager, how you're solving for those tech. अभी Solana, फिर उसके बाद Flutter, पहले people used to use Java and all those things. It was easier. Maybe a lot of things have changed, right? So from an experienced person's background who has worked before, I would say when you start your first step into it, right? Maybe not start reading all the books altogether, right? A lot of what you do as a product manager is learning from others' experience, others' understandings, how they solved for things. A community is something is very important. So start reaching out to the right kind of people who are going to help you. Okay, what did I do and what did it reflect? टेक में क्या रिफ्लेक्ट किया? ग्रोथ, अगर तू मार्केटिंग में, मैंने कितने सारे लीड्स लेके आया, तो सेल्स में मैं कितने सारे लीड्स लेके आया. To get into product management, you don't have to, have to be a product manager or have to have an MBA. You have to have that understanding and that thinking of a product manager, problem solver, or being a generalist also works for you. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, with this question, we are towards the end of the session, and we have mostly covered all the scenarios and questions that might come from the people. A quick sort of fire round that we'll have. Okay, Cred or phone pay?
Phone pay.
Phone pay. Cred or Zerodha?
Great.
Cred. Phone pay or Google Pay?
Phone pay.
Phone pay. Paytm and phone pay?
Phone pay. There's only one app on my phone. Phone pay.
Phone pay.
I use very minimal apps. iPhone है, कोई भी phone है, सिर्फ एक ही app है.
Phone pay.
हाँ.
Okay. Yeah. So Ola or Uber? I mean, you are in Bangalore. Rapido also is there.
I don't tell anybody. I use Drive.
This was a quick fire round. Like, what is the one? Lastly, what is the one most common app that is usually opened each and every day apart from social media?
Alarms. My alarms is my reminder. मैं alarms जाके लिखता हूँ call अजय. किस लिए कॉल करना है वो उस पे नीचे से लिखा होता है. Calendar obviously is there, but 5 मिनट पहले कैलेंडर से पहले लैपटॉप पे रिमाइंडर आ जाएगा. Sometimes I'm not near the laptop, so फोन पे कॉल अजय. What? हाँ 5 मिनट में कॉल शुरू हो रहा है.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So it was great connecting with you, Milan. And yeah, meet you next.
Pleasure talking to you, Bhavishya. Have a great time with HelloPM. Thank you.
Thank you so much joining us on this platform. Thank you so much.
Great to see you. Take care.